and welcome everyone to Peer Talks with Meki Inside. I'm Varun Batra and today I'm excited to talk Mr. Mrityunjay Hiremat, who has completed his Masters of Technology from NIT Rourkela within Metallurgical and Materials Engineering Department. So we are looking forward to that conversation to talk about the mechanical performance of fiber metal laminates. Over to Mr. Mrityunjay Hiremat.
Hello everybody. So I'll be presenting on a topic mechanical performance of fiber metal laminates. So what motivates in the development of fiber metal laminate is there is a huge demand of high performance materials for aircraft structures, specifically in terms of design drivers such as high damage tolerance, durability and lightweight efficient designs. Even some economic drivers such as weight savings, minimizing maintenance and operation costs. This all necessitates to develop a high performance material. Therefore, FML is such an engineered material which satisfies the above mentioned needs. So on the right hand side, you can see a stacking being carried out. A specific example of a fiber metal laminate, a glare FML. Glare is nothing but one of the FML, that's a glass fiber reinforced aluminum laminate, wherein the glass fibers are being inserted in between the aluminum sheets alternatively. So this was first developed in the Technical University of Delft in the year 1981, and their university filed 2 patents for this fiber metal laminate. So coming to historical development, in the early 1960s, aerospace structures were solely developed from monolithic aluminum because of its light in weight and moderate strength. But perhaps there was a problem in the fatigue resistance. So it could not bear the fatigue whenever it was exposed to such harsh environment. Therefore, an idea of 2 sheets of aluminum was developed, wherein from the concept of plane stress, whenever there is a crack present in the aluminum sheet, the plastic zone present at the crack tip reduces the crack propagation rate. And if these aluminum sheets are joined by adhesive acts as a crack divider, perhaps making the crack propagation rate lower by 3 to 4 times. But as there was an advancement in the technology, glass fibers were also introduced in between the aluminum sheet, and hence the development of glass fiber reinforced aluminum took place. So this exhibited a good fatigue resistance compared to the monolithic aluminum earlier developed. It's specifically the applications include like a fuselage and wing skin of aircraft structures, as I mentioned earlier, and now it's being commercially used in Fokker, Lockheed, Bombardier aircrafts, and even in Airbus 380 aircraft. So coming to its properties, specifically it depends on the metal volume fraction in the rule of mixture. On the right hand side, you can see how the load is being carried out by the glass fiber whenever the crack is present in the laminate. So glass fiber acts as a crack bridging mechanism and carries the maximum load whenever the crack present in the aluminum. So metal volume fraction, coming back to its properties, metal volume fraction heavily depends on the aluminum thickness over its contribution to the whole laminate. And if we see to the calculation of the properties, this is earlier same as the formula used for the conventional composite, wherein for instance, if I want to calculate the ultimate tensile strength of the whole laminate, it depends on the metal volume fraction and the constituents ultimate tensile strength. So here it will be aluminum ultimate tensile strength and the composite ultimate tensile strength. Similarly, the strength of the laminate and the modulus of the laminate is calculated. So the objective of ours was to focus on the role of surface treatment. See, perhaps as I showed earlier, whenever the bonding took place between the aluminum and the glass fiber, it was of not that strong. Therefore, we need to have some sort of a surface treatment of the aluminum so that strong bonding exists between them, so that it doesn't fail at lower loads. Therefore, first focus is on treating the aluminum surface in order to enhance the adhesion between the plies. The second focus is to embed some nanofillers in the epoxy matrix so that we have a good interlaminar bonding strength in the laminate. The third will be to identify the best configuration of FML which can be suitable to characterize it mechanically over control FML. These objectives were being satisfied and were fulfilled while doing the research in our institute, our Matless Lab Institute, and these objects were successfully achieved. So in order to carry out these objectives, experimental details include like surface treatment needs to be done first of the aluminium, and first surface treatment was about mechanically abrading the aluminium surface with a sandpaper of 80 grit size. Second was etching it chemically with aerospace standard P2 etching. This is how the process was carried out, P2 etching. And next step was to fabricate the fiber metal laminate. So this process indicate how the nanofiller is being processed in order to use it in mixing with the epoxy matrix in order to, and the whole constituent use it as a matrix. So once the matrix was ready, then the composite was fabricated by preparing the aluminium, by stacking the aluminium and the matrix. The next step was to characterize the material. The specific characterization like lab shear strength test was carried out for the single lap joint. This was carried out to conduct the bond quality in order to know the bond quality existing between the aluminium and the glass epoxy composite, and was conducted with respect to the ASTM standard 5868. This was conducted in a universal tensile test machine, as you can see the picture over here. The very next test was done for the fiber metal laminate, specifically the tensile test, and it was conducted with respect to ASTM D2039. With respect to you can see again, this is a 100 kilonewton UTM machine. Then the fractured surface was analyzed for the surface analysis. Specifically, the aluminium surface was viewed in the scanning electron microscope, and the sample size was about 1 by 1 centimeter square. So coming to some conclusions and the results, you can see a typical constituent behavior, specifically the aluminium and the glass epoxy composite, wherein aluminium being ductile in nature exhibits a ductile behavior, whereas glass epoxy composite being a brittle in nature will initially exhibit a linear behavior, stress-strain response, but then it fails catastrophically. When we combine these two constituents, we get a specific stress-strain response of a fiber metal laminate, and we can see there is a sudden drop whenever the stress-strain response was plotted for the fiber metal laminate. And this fiber metal laminate is specifically done for this particular configuration, glare FML, wherein the configuration includes first the aluminium, then the 2 mat of glass fiber, then the aluminium, then the 2 mat of glass fiber, and then the aluminium. Coming back to its theoretical approach, the theoretical approach, as I mentioned earlier, included using the rule of mixture in order to evaluate the ultimate tensile strength, yield strength, and the modulus. And we can see a triangular shape here. What does this mean is that the green color indicates the theoretical values. If those were the 100%, then the experimental was almost about the same as that of the theoretical values as achieved. So error was about less than 5% whenever these values were calculated for ultimate tensile strength, yield strength, and Young's modulus. So surface morphology of the aluminum, you can see how the surface appears in a scanning electron microscope for a rolled aluminium at 100 micrometer view. But when we zoom in at a higher level of magnification, this is the rolled surface of the aluminium. So whenever the aluminium is being surface treated, this is how we can see the porous structure being generated whenever the P2 etching is carried out. So if we see a zoomed view, this is how the surface occurs, which shows a porous being generated. So coming back to the mechanical response of the single lap joint, specifically for the aluminium and the glass epoxy, how the bond quality is being exhibited by this epoxy, neat epoxy, and adhesive wherein the nanofillers are being used. So nanofiller embedded epoxy exhibits a higher load carrying capacity compared to the neat epoxy. Therefore, we see the right hand side, the shear strength is being computed as being and it is being plotted with respect to the loading rate. The test was conducted with respect to two loading rates at that 5 mm per minute loading rate and then 50 mm per loading rate for both adhesives. That is, this is neat epoxy, this is for neat epoxy, and this is for the nanofiller embedded epoxy. So once we came to know that, as we come to know that nanofiller embedded epoxy exhibits good bond quality compared to the neat epoxy, this was used as the adhesive in order to get a tensile performance of a fiber metal laminate. And here also we can see whenever the mechanical abrasion plus the chemical etching is being when it is carried out and in which the nanofiller epoxy is being used as adhesive, so it exhibits a very high stress strain response and hence it has a very good load carrying capacity compared to the conventional neat fiber metal laminate. So in order to have more details about this, you can go through my publications here. You can have a good referencing in order to refer this more. Thank you.
Yeah, Mrityunjay, I really appreciate that you have shared your valuable time with us. Thank you so much for joining us and thank you for the work that you are doing to support the research community for the further advancements. To reach him, the links are given in the description below. So it's time to say goodbye to all our listeners. Thank you for watching. For more videos, do subscribe my channel, Mackie Insight.